Well, we are continuing to find muggy conditions across the area. Winds out of the north now at about 5 miles per hour or so are going to eventually back off. That, coupled with the dew point and the temperature being quite close to one another, that means there's the potential for fog to develop. So let's take a look at that right now. Again, that relative humidity is going to continue to climb, and that with the winds calming down, that's the perfect recipe for fog. Combine that with all the moisture we've had, that will help set the stage for that fog development to take place in the low levels. Things are quiet now on Viper radar. Did get a round of storms that moved through essentially everywhere south of the Altamaha. That has since become a non-factor, but the visibility will become a factor. Get towards the very early hours of the morning, fog will begin to develop in the typical trouble spots on the lower portions of the area, lower elevation areas near the Savannah River, of course. Then by the time you get to around sunrise, I do think this is overdoing how widespread it will be, but bottom line, some patches of very dense fog are possible, but notice how quick it dissipates. By the time you even get towards 9 a.m., it'll be gone, let alone 11 a.m. there. So overall, get to enjoy your day, and temperatures are going to be on the hot side. You lose our typical partly cloudy and storm chances. That will allow those temperatures to respond accordingly. Starting off in the 70s, warming into the mid-90s, feeling upwards of the mid-100s at times as well. Eventually, though, does begin to cool off enough. And again, get out and enjoy the day tomorrow, because it will be a fairly nice one. In the next few days as well will feature fairly nice conditions. 20% chance of some showers and storms, though, are in play and possible Tuesday and Wednesday. But main concerns are going to be how downright hot it's going to be. So again, stay hydrated. Remember, the heat's the main concern, of course, in a lot of portions of summertime. Things have quieted down, though, because the frontal boundary has moved away from the area. That allowed most of the activity to pulse down fairly quickly. Now, that frontal boundary has transitioned into a trough of low pressure. That low pressure actually has a 10% chance of reaching a tropical depression or named storm status, but likely not going to be a factor in the near term at all. But here's what's going to be off of the coast of our area, and that's Hurricane Aaron. Category 4 now, 130 mile per hour winds. The eye has cleared out. Very vigorous thunderstorms in the eye wall. So this thing is going to continue to thankfully make the turn to the northwest. You notice the recent track has done that as well. System is thankfully gaining latitude, and it will stay well off of our shores. Again, 130 mile per hour winds, so back to Category 4 status. It remains that for the next day or so before it transitions into such a large hurricane that overall it will not be able to maintain an intense wind field. Off of our coast, it will be a Category 3, but over 500 miles away. Main concern becomes high surf and rip currents with this system. Again, not even thinking any chance of tropical storm force winds in our coastal waters, but do want to mention the Outer Banks of North Carolina could possibly get a brush from this system, and this very delicate stretch of coastline does not deal with things very well, simply due to the fact that it is a shifting barrier island chain, and also the wave heights are going to get quite high. Our area is also going to see, by the way, 5 to 8 foot breaking waves possible Tuesday through Thursday, but up into the Outer Banks of North Carolina, this stretch of coast, while again, the outward bending coast does not necessarily flood from storm surge as much. That high wave action from the very close proximity of the storm will lead to issues along that delicate area. So that is why you may have seen around in some news about things with evacuations there. But eventually the system pulls away from our area. By the end of the week, rip currents, of course, are concerned from distant swells. High risk of rip currents the entire week expected. So swimmers, especially out of towners, do want to be careful with that, and honestly don't want to get in the water, especially you're not allowed to get in the water if you have double red flags on the beach. Small craft advisory goes into effect on the water at 4 a.m. on Tuesday as well. 5 to 8 foot waves expected, especially with the 15 to 25 knot winds adding into the equation offshore. Quick look at the tropics. Again, developing off the coast of Africa is a tropical wave moving in. It looks to develop possibly in the western Atlantic or the northeast Caribbean. Has that chance of developing, but not very well put together at the moment. We have a long time to watch this feature. On the water tomorrow, northeast winds develop into a northerly wind, 10 knots, 2 to 3 foot seas. Small craft advisory does not go into effect until Tuesday, so tomorrow might be a decent day for you. Not even carrying rain chances tomorrow. May find a spotty shower or two, but gradually get those rain chances in by the end of the week.
So you're telling people tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. So you're also kind of mentioning the water. Should people still be a little weary?
Yeah, definitely. If you're not an experienced swimmer, especially on our ocean beaches, you probably shouldn't be getting in the water in general, especially Tuesday on, but tomorrow as well.